Hello, this is a video on how to get started on Hotline and how to process transactions. So the first thing that's going to happen is when you get a phone call, it is going to say to you if it's the Deja Vu hotline or if it's DHC, and then it's going to ask you to press a number to take the call or to press a number to send it to voicemail. And obviously you're going to press the number to take the call and answer the line professionally, state who we are and what your name is. For example, welcome to the Deja Vu hotline, this is Jan. And once you start talking to them, you're going to find out pretty quickly if they are a regular caller or if they're a new caller. You kind of want to make sure that gets established so you know if they're familiar with the offerings or not. And a good way to get familiar with what we're offering as far as the different specials is to go to the website and either have that up and available during your shift until you get it memorized, or just to check it periodically and make sure you're familiar with what's going on. When you go to the hotline Deja Vu Psychics, it will have a specials link, and you go to that link and it'll kind of give you an idea of what is going on either this month or what the regular offerings are. And once you've kind of established what they want to do, if they want to do a 10-minute reading, a 15-minute reading, or a current special, you're going to let them know that you need to process their transaction before you get started, which they'll expect that to happen. And it's really important that that does happen before the reading. Under no circumstances should you ever process it after the fact or write down their personal information. And I mean, there's so many reasons why. One being, if you're writing down their information, I have no way as a merchant to be able to manage what's happening to that information, if it's lying around in your house, if it is getting destroyed, things like that. Also, if you don't process it before the reading, they may have given you the wrong number. Maybe they didn't realize they were at their limit. If it declines, if we have to go back and chase them after the fact, that's a little embarrassing. It's unprofessional, and oftentimes we may not get them. So it's just not really an option. If there's any reason why you're not able to process a transaction during a shift, I just make sure I know so I can make arrangements to get that taken care of. But I can't imagine that being a problem because we have different ways of being able to process the transaction. So one of those ways is through WorldPay. And so I've sent you a link to WorldPay that will take you directly to the user ID and password page. And it's good to have this up during your shift, just kind of be ready. I've got one of those things where I have it saves my user ID and password, so I can just jump right in there really quick and easy. And it's going to take me to the main page that you're going to actually do the transaction on. And this asks for the basic information like first name, last name, street address, city, state, zip. It does have a link in there for email and phone number, which is not necessary unless they specifically ask to have an email or a receipt sent to them, which is very rare. I never have that, but if it should happen, you have that option. You can get their email and send them notification of their payment. And the next link is their payment methods, credit card number, expiration date. The CVC number, that's the 3-digit code on the back. And the next link, this is really important, customer order ID. It does say optional over here, but it's not. For our sake, it's not optional. What you put here is your name. And the reason being is that this is what's going to help me sort out and balance everything when it comes to doing commission. Even though you're going to be putting your readings on the Google Doc, I do double check, and I just need to make sure everything's balancing out, because I have found sometimes that mistakes happen. You may forget to put a reading on there, and I want to make sure I catch that so that you're getting paid accurately and getting paid for what you're doing. So make sure you put your name right here. It doesn't have to be your full name. Your first name is fine. And then down here, you don't need to worry about any of these other links. Where it says total price, you put the price that they're going to pay for their reading. And then you're going to hit submit. When you hit submit, the page is going to change, and it's going to be an image of a receipt. That means it went through, it's complete. If it stays just like this on this page, it didn't go through, which is pretty rare. I've never seen that happen, but just so you know if it went through or not, you'll see an image of a receipt. It doesn't have a big announcement that says, thank you, your order's been processed, or your transaction is complete. It doesn't have that kind of announcement. It just shows you an image of a receipt. So that's how you process a transaction through WorldPay. Now, the next step would be if they wanted to add more time. You're at the end of the reading, you ask them, would you like to add some more time and continue doing a reading? Would you like me to look at some of this some more? If they say yes, please look at some more stuff, then you want to establish, well, okay, did you want, how much more time? What do you want to do? And at that point, what you do is you hit reports, and what's going to happen actually is that it's going to log you out. It's got a timer on here, so you do need to log back in. And once you log back in, go to reports right here and go to today's totals. Click on that, and from there you can find their name, which shouldn't be too hard because you just did the reading. And on the far left hand side it says quick charge. When you click the quick charge link, it opens up a new screen, and the only two things you need to put in there is customer order ID, your name, and the amount. That's it. And hit submit, and you'll see the receipt again. And that's how you extend the reading, or if that's how you can add money without going through that whole process. So I'll show you here on the end. It says quick charge, and I'm not going to do it because it pulls up all the person's personal information, but all you do is click that, and that'll take you to the next page, and you can process it again. The other thing you can do is, let's say a repeat caller calls. You did a reading for her last week, she loved it, she calls you again this week. Hey, I want to get another reading. Do you remember me? I called you last week. Oh, okay. Well, do you want to use the same credit card? And if they say, yeah, that same credit card is fine, what you can do is go under weekly totals and click on that week and pull up get weekly totals and find their name, and then on the left hand side again it says quick charge, and just click that button. So that's an easy way to do that if you're going to be using WorldPay. Sometimes maybe you didn't do the reading, but they're going to call you and say, hey, I just got a reading the other day, I'm in the system. They already know about quick charge, so they may tell you, and you can search that way. It does say you can transaction list. That's a really complicated way to look, so I wouldn't even worry about doing that. Work with today's totals and weekly totals if you're trying to find somebody, and make sure they are using the same credit card they used last time, because if not, we need to get the new one. And that's how you use WorldPay. Now, if they excuse me, are getting a healing, that's kind of a different scenario. Not as far as payment. Payment is exactly the same, but you do need to do an extra step. And that extra step is that you need to get a recording. And it's a good idea to have this recording either on a document you can easily get to, print it up, have it next to you, because you need to be able to go right into this. So if they do need to get a healing and they have not done this recording with us, you'll need to do it. So you'll need to ask them if they, or let them know that they need to do this recording. If they've already done it with somebody, you don't need to do it. They only need to do this one time. And it does record the calls, and you can record it by hitting *2. It'll start recording the call. You're going to read all of this information, and at the end you're going to hit *2 again, and it ends the recording. That recording will get submitted to me, and that's all you need to do. You can do this before I would do it after you process their transaction. Make sure you just get that money thing out of the way, and then you can go into doing this recording. And it's basically saying that they are agreeing to getting a healing. It is a protection, and they understand what a healing is. It's a protection for us. So that if they can't come back and sue us for not, making their life how they wanted it or whatever. Who knows what they would do. But anyways, it does need to be done every time you do a healing for the first time for a person. And that is how you start your readings off. It sounds like a lot, but it's actually, once you get that down, it's pretty quick, and then you can go into your reading and you're done. Thanks.